we are not running a sprint. Our marriage is a marathon. Long-term situation, short-term situation, or whether it's an entanglement. A bond was created. So how do you break that bond? How do you get past that bond? That's actually what we're going to talk about today. Well, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Rodney. This is Tiffany. And today we're going to talk about how do we break that bond that was created through extramarital situations.
Yeah. Before we do that, if you are new to our channel and you just want to learn more about how to battle in marriage the right way, God's way, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell. We post a video every week and it's getting better and better, y'all. So you don't want to miss it.
So make sure you like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. When you are dealing with the situations like we have dealt with, we have run across a lot of people, or several people, I'm gonna go ahead and say a lot of people who have similar situations like ours. Sometimes we've talked to people and they've had a very identical situation like ours. It's sometimes mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
It can be through pornography, it can be through homosexuality, it can be through an entanglement. However you want to label it, you have done something outside your marriage, right? And so how do you get past that? So one thing that when I had to go through this situation, I had to learn to do was follow the Romans 12:2, which speaks of renewing your mind. My mind had been renewed to the worldly thoughts. So now how do we renew our minds to be just like what Christ says it should be? Just as much work as you put in to get into that situation, you're gonna have to take just as much work or double that work just to get out of that situation. And when you think about the pleasures of our flesh, and once we start to gratify in our flesh and we start feeding our flesh, we will start walking in our fleshly desires. We'll start walking in the desires of the things that are sinful. However, if you want to separate yourself from those acts, you're gonna now have to start thinking a lot differently about what you were engaged in. I was told before from Pastor Stevens, he would tell me to see what I saw as pleasure and see it as pain. So when I had to renew my mind, I had to saturate myself with God's word, surround myself with the right people. And it was a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. And I spent a little time learning about recovery from drugs. And I know that when people are in recovery, a lapse is common. But you don't stop that process of recovery. You continue to go through it. And then once you feel like you've gotten past certain areas, you try not to go back to that. You find that situation where iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. So I surround myself with the right people who are going to hold me accountable, who's going to sharpen me.
You know, I've shared with many people that there was a time, a vulnerable moment. Our marriage did allow myself to, seek out something to make me feel better about myself and to get back at him, to be quite honest. Ironically, I was still praying and asking God to fix my marriage. One Sunday when I was in church and the pastor was preaching about, he preached out of Hebrews 12:1. And real quick, it just says, therefore we also, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which so easily ensnares us, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. I was serious about that thing. I wanted him to bless our marriage, even though I was hurt, and even though I wanted to get back at him, and I was having all these thoughts and feelings, it convicted me at that time to want to just lay aside all of that, because it was slowing the process down.
You know, if your eye causes you to sin, to take that eye out. And if you don't take drastic measures, that's what the word is saying, take drastic measures. So it's saying that, you need to cut that thing off. You can't run that race, as Tiffany is saying. You can't run that race with heavy weight.
Yeah.
So if you notice that when people are running a marathon, they don't run it with a backpack on, or they don't run it dragging a cart. So they run it and they try to be as slim as possible, and they eat a certain way because they don't want to be bogged down with that weight. And because that race is a long race, and we are not running a sprint. Our marriage is a marathon.
Right.
So in order for us to complete this marathon, we need to really drop off the things and sever those ties of things that's going to prevent us from completing that marathon. So our encouragement for anyone who's in a similar situation, to take drastic measures. If your phone is causing you to sin, change your phone number. You have apps out there that will prevent you, I think called Covenant Eyes. It will prevent you from getting on certain websites. And once you get on that certain website, you have a brother or a sister who can tell you that, or hold you accountable, from that. So there are so many different ways that you can help yourself in this situation, again, if you want that help.
Right.
Because most of the people who are in recovery, you have to admit that you're dealing with something.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly in denial that you're dealing with something, then you're never going to recover.
Yeah.
So you have to face it, you have to admit it, and then from there, you have to be accountable, and you have to be diligent in running this race, this marathon, this marriage, and complete that race.
Make sure to comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about this video.
Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, share this video with a friend. So visit the Battle We Must Win website. Check out our blog. Book us to speak. And if you would also love to donate, we will accept that as well, because your donations can help us bless many more marriages across this country. Yeah. So thank you for tuning in this week. We are so grateful that you joined us. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yep.
So don't forget,
the battle continues.